I'm the host of Primal AF podcast, Jimmy Napolitano. Yo, it's been a minute. Where you guys been? I'm just kidding. It's on me. So I'm just gonna jump into what we're gonna be talking about today, and it's really just recap 2025 and lessons that I've had. I know I've been silent, but also I'm kind of working in the dark. This is a pretty cool time of my life, and there's a lot of learning going on, and I want to share this with everybody. So there is a list of things that through journaling, through prompts, and use of my own Ragnar AI, which I use as almost like a mentor. It's a combination of a bunch of different things, whether it's nutrition, health, sleep, relationships, masculinity. It's everything kind of wrapped into one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start in from my number one journal entry, and the line I said was, I stopped asking myself how to win and started to ask who I was becoming. So winning had stopped being informative for me. I could hit numbers and I was getting podiums and obviously disciplined. And I was asking myself why. And this is a little bit before 2025, but there are also reoccurring themes. And if you listen to this podcast enough, I go through them. I'm very open about it. I'm very outcome motivated. And that's really when it clicked, is when the outcomes were improving and the identity was drifting. I felt like I was losing it. Like, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Um, and my journaling has become less about success. Like, I am going to be successful no matter what happens. Um, that was that was true to me, and I truly feel that whatever I do, wherever I do it. Um, but is it in alignment? Can I show up every day and give my self-respect when no one was watching? And this is coming from, you know, from the nutrition world and being competitive, but also the professional world. I was very good at what I did uh, at my previous job, and there was a misalignment. I wanted the leaders to be better than me, and I'm not being cocky or I always look to be in a room with people that are better than me, and I didn't have that, and I couldn't find it, and it was frustrating. It was frustrating how their feelings got hurt when new ideas would come up, and sometimes it was information that was a little bit too early, and they weren't ready for it. And I'm not in the my personality isn't the type to smooth ideas over when I feel very passionate about it. So what I had to do is draw a line in the sand, and I'm like, okay, winning is a part of who I am. Now you're either going to be running with me or you're not. So that's where that ended. And then also that leans into just discipline and goals and alignment, because yeah, podiums were part of me having fun. And the one time I didn't podium, I was like, man, fuck, right? But why am I really doing the training that I'm doing? It's not for the podiums, it's not for the attaboy. It's because it's a mark of me being in shape for when my boys get older, when Mooch and B get a little bit older, and they're 10 and 12 right now. And dude, they're pushing me right now, but like, I got to be in line. All right, number two, discipline wasn't my problem, direction was. So I've never struggled to work hard, and that's what made this realization uncomfortable. The discipline amplifies whatever path I'm on, and really, I'd just been accelerated in multiple directions at once. There is actually a a time where I was sitting down and I'm like, hey, I'm very fucking ambitious and I have a lot of different things, but are these different paths, are they masks for fear of failure or even worse, fear of success? And I say even worse because fear of success, you would be like, oh, poor him, um, or poor this person, not, not me, but fear of success, that that comes with there's a lot of reasons that people fear things, and the reason of fear of success is for there's a reason I don't get into Brazilian jiu-jitsu right now. It's because there is a competitiveness about that, just the whole vibe, and just knowing my own personality, things will get cut out that don't need to get cut out, like time and family, because my only goal when I go in there is just to be great. And um, the fear is that I cut out time with kids, I cut out maybe work time or just other training things that are important to me to actually make me happy to be that person I need to become. That's cool and all. It's not something I want to. I'm not willing to go into just now. So that journal entry was, it's about direction, it's about clarity, and it's always about clarity. Uh, Misalignment comes up often here, and on my daily routine, am I doing the things that align with what my goals are? Sometimes having too many roles and too many identities, and not enough mold there is not the best way going forward. To the outside world, yeah, it looks like you're ambitious and it looks like, dude, you're doing a lot, right? But am I really? And really, I mean, this is about just being consistent. Sometimes success is boring because it's just consistency. It's just doing the same. It's tying your shoes. Well, I don't wear shoes when I train. It's it's washing your face every day. It's making your bed every day. That is success and that is consistent. It's boring unless you really like making your fucking bed. But when you scatter it across different domains like work, your goals, your identity, your nutrition, it can get convoluted. Third one, I'm being productive but not being present. Um, Productivity in every sense gave me a sense of control. Also, it gave me an excuse. I could justify emotional distance. First of all, I could justify anything, but I could justify emotional distances just because I was getting things done or working, um, where I should be present with my wife and like Erica and Mooch and B. So my writing and journaling and Ragnar II uh, exposed how often efficiency is replaced by attention. It's especially true with family. So presence isn't about, it's not about doing more, it's about nervous system safety. And mine was running on urgency, especially this summer when, this is going to come up a lot. And because it was a good milestone in my life about, um, being out of a job. There was a little bit of fear there. But the very first thing that Brody said to me, my son, was, this is the best opportunity our family has seen, and we have to take advantage of this opportunity. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but I was pretty spot on to what he said. If you know his personality and if you've talked to him, um, you would see that he's right in alignment with that. But um, it took me a second, and I say a second where it was probably 2 or 3 days, to come to a realization that what a great opportunity for my family to see the kids especially what this actually looks like. Like now we get to build whatever the fuck we want, and the way that my family is designed right now is optimal. Everybody came in together at the same time. Um, so sometimes it takes things like that to realize, you know, what you have around you in the support system. I thank them. Um, I thank them in my head every day. I almost said out loud, but I really don't. I should. There was not a lot of freak out though. Um, there's a lot of trust and confidence in me, and that really means a lot. Next one. I didn't need more confidence. I needed fewer lies. Fuck. Fuck. Right? Confidence wasn't missing, and it never is. I was leaking through self deception. So there's a lot of half truths that required maintenance in my life. Um, every time I tried to rationalize something, it drained my energy. It is draining. Um, and that is usually in the form of stories that I usually tell myself, that, hey, I'm okay, we're gonna be fine. This is it's not gonna be fine if you're just sitting here. It's fucking not. I have to stop lying, and even now, it's like about my future, about what I want, what I'm fucking tolerating, and what I was avoiding. I am still a recovering people pleaser, and the things I was tolerating before was it showed cycles. There have been times where I should have said no faster, and it gets harder and harder the longer that this, that you delay the reaction, or delay anything. Oh, like that, like saying no. Um, so what I was avoiding is really natural confidence. Um, so I was able to justify a career and decisions that way, and how money's going to come in. I'm able to justify that later on because I have my boundaries in place, and I know what I'm looking for. I have the avatar, and I'm better off for it. Um, this next one, my body was telling the truth before my mind caught up. So I often trust logic, discipline, and planning, and uh, my body will often get ahead of me. And where this comes up is usually tightness, restlessness, fatigue, flaws in execution. These are all signals to me that I was in misalignment. This is probably going on in April of last year is when this was. And again, the journal helped me connect the physical symptoms, and I had to do my own research on connecting the physical or the emotional friction that I've been overriding with willpower. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that my willpower is strong. Um, it's very strong. I If I am set to do something, it's gonna happen. I don't know if there is a force out there that could convince me otherwise. Um, but at the same time, persistent fatigue that sets in, and tension despite doing everything right. Sometimes it's about keeping. Sometimes it's not about being right. Sometimes it's about being healthy. um, Recovery for me is now creeping up to the top of the list. It has to feel right. I have to feel right, and my recovery is different than other people's recovery. I understand that. Um, I could recover weekly with, massages do well for me. I haven't been on them recently. My bad. Uh, but also, I I truly think all I need is about 2 to 3 hours every 6 weeks of running in a tropical environment to an ocean, listening to the ocean for about 90 seconds to about 3 minutes, and that's all the reset that I need. It's almost like when Superman gets fucked up, rolls up to the sun, and he just recharges. And that's exactly what I envision is that just rolling up there. Nobody else is up there. This is my time. This is my environment. And I mean, it's my body, so I mean that's the way I got to take care of it. But recovery is the, I mean, it's 25% of being in flow, and flow is the thing that we're all after. We, I mean, our best times, our best feelings are in flow, but recovery is needed to get there. Dude, I hope you guys can't hear the freaking banging that's going on right now. First, my dog is banging. Jake dog is banging his head on the table. But all right, next one. I kept on calling it patience when it was really fear, and I used to. I mean, this is dating back to 2019. I used to say, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid. Well, certainly not afraid of. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of what that comes. I know it's natural. I know it's eventually going to be there. That's a part of life. I look at it logically like that. I don't get really emotional about it, but I confused dying with fear. I'm not afraid of death. I do have fear. Um, and I know that I am driven mostly by fear. I know now how to more healthily um, run for a positive campaign, but patience can be wisdom, or it could be avoidance dressed up as maturity. And that was one of the things that I got feedback on: is patience can be wisdom, or it could be avoidance dressed up as maturity. Writing forced honesty, and I wasn't waiting because the timing was wrong. I was waiting because the actions sometimes threatened comfort. And uh, Ron, Marty, you guys know that, and I think you know Matt Roberts, you know that too, because like I've come to you in those times, and Liam, you know what I'm saying? It's action, and I could hear Liam in my ear, like, action, brother, it's action. That's the thing. But naming the discomfort removed the fear that it was hiding behind, and it oftentimes does. Saying that, hey, I am afraid that this is going to happen because these are the consequences. Yeah, well, as soon as you say it out loud or even write it, um, it it kind of makes it concrete and gives you a game plan to move with or against it. I actually and literally caught myself lying to myself in my journal. I said something because I do an audio journal. I said something and I said, "Dog, I just fucking lied. That's not fucking true." Um, and it's crazy how just by myself verbalizing that it helps decisive moves, and at the same time intellectually justifying timing. But next one, uh, I confused being needed with being respected. Being needed feels good, and it creates relevance, and we all think we're put on this earth to be relevant. Um, and there's a little bit of ego there, because at any point, it doesn't matter how much you're worth, how good of a person you are, what your family is like, how many people are in your family, but you go for a walk one day in the woods, and in about 15 seconds or less, you could be food for a bear, like a grizzly bear, or like even a black bear, whatever. Like it doesn't fucking matter. You are relevant, but now you're relevant in the food chain, and it doesn't matter like your come up story. It doesn't matter about anything. So, I kind of put ego in check there, um, because like the only respect that I need is respect from myself. And journaling often revealed how I stayed, you know, involved. And this is mostly about, my previous career, um, overly involved, and not out of generosity, but more out of identity. And then after that, I kind of resented it, except for the people. The people that I helped are fucking amazing. That's the only reason that I fucking do this shit. I love the people. It's my it's my one it's my one thing that keeps that drive in any career. It's always going to be the people that I help. Um, but as long as it's not overbearing, it's not over functioning. Um, most of the time, it's in a leadership role, and I'm growing people around me. I am a very stable person right now, and I feel like as that you could be an anchor, and you just bring people up. You bring people around me. That's my gift. That the only thing I know how to do, and the only thing I know what to do with my wisdom is being from where I have come from, is to, I've had to dig myself out of shitholes, and if I could either offer assistance or build the ladder for other people to do it easily, and I replicate this especially with my kids. If I could give them the learning that they need without having to do what I went through, um, that is the ultimate. That's what I live for. This is a good one too. Come here, Jake Dog. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Dog. Come here, baby. Oh, pause on. All right, so me and Jake are running this podcast. He is licking me in the mouth. All right, so that's nice. I was training hard, but recovering shallow. And this is the feedback that I got from my journal: is I respected the physical discipline, and I underestimated the emotional integration. All right. Either way, the next one was, Jimmy, you're trying to earn certainty instead of building trust with yourself. I kept revisiting decisions because I wanted certainty. Every time I move, my biggest fear is looking like a fucking dumbass in front of a group of people. I don't know why that's, again, the people pleasing. I care what people think. I'm sorry. Um, and most oftentimes, I I just want the certainty. Certainty. It's not because I lacked clarity, but the journaling revealed that self trust is built by honoring my own decisions and not re-litigating them. Um, Consistency is going to breed confidence. And second guessing, um, I've already made the decision. So on a lot of these things that I'm dragging my feet on or have dragged my feet on, like doing this podcast, I already know what I want to do and it feels good in my head. I just didn't do the action. Um, and that's to me an integrity issue. Like you said that you were going to do the thing, you're not doing the thing. Why the fuck not? Because it's going to feel bad sometimes. What if I fuck up? What if like I get like 2 views on the fucking podcast? Like what if like somebody says, "Dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about." Like all of these things are I don't listen to one of them, but it's like the combination of everything. And just making the action and taking the step, all of that disappears as soon as you take action. It's always action. All right, next one. You keep chasing flow instead of earning it. That's another moment where you're like, fuck. Same thing as, you could replace flow for anything that you've ever wanted: money, the girl, the relationship, um, the car, the house. You're chasing it, right? The flow in my world, it isn't a switch, but it's a byproduct. Um, you need to put the things in the algorithm to get what you want. So for me, it was my sleep debt was high, even though I'm getting 7.5 hours of sleep each night. The things that I was doing on the other side of that, it didn't add up. I either need to do less during the day or sleep more. Emotional cluttering, cuddling, emotional cluttering, and overscheduling were the real blockers. And then once the friction is removed, you're allowed to flow again with force. I mean, think of a dammed up river, right? There's things in the way that are creating the true beauty of what can be achieved when all the barriers are removed, right? Like, oftentimes we're our own barriers, but trying to create peak states while ignoring fundamentals, it doesn't fucking work. That's just biology. Next one. You wanted clarity, but you don't ask honest questions. Uh, Sometimes I realized I was asking questions that were perceived by my identity and not challenged by it. So oftentimes people are like, "Hey, you're so energetic. You're so positive. Uh, you're on top of it." That's what I want you to think. And I feel good when I hear that. But, my own clarity requires questions that risk discomfort. And again, that's why creating Ragnar really helped that. And the journal became a place where avoidance lost its cover. So I could really get into the real questions and the real meanings of why and how and when and what the fuck, right? So, I mean, the early journaling uh, helped me stay intellectual, but also emotionally safe. Next one. Um, I was being strong in public and avoided in private. Essentially the same thing. The public strength can coexist with private avoidance, but it's only temporary. Um, when I exposed the gap, um, I noticed that what I perform under observation is also the same as how I perform when no one else is watching. So, um, the only variance between the two is perception of how people view you and your own perception. Now, unfortunately for me, it's almost the same. My stories about myself are way worse than any of the public or anybody else could tell me. Um, but those are also things that I can control. And as long as I can control the things that I can control, then motherfucker, I can control it. The next one is I stopped negotiating with the versions of me that I outgrew. Old identities negotiate for relevance long after they expire. It became obvious to me which habits and roles I was defending out of familiarity rather than alignment. Sometimes it's more comfortable to stay in the pattern that you're in, and to change it, uh, it also sometimes sucks. So that's coming out of like identity and just growing. Um, and then that really leads into the next one. I didn't need motivation. I needed friction removed. So we all know that motivation fluctuates. It comes and goes, right? And that's my big kind of thing. Like people are like, "Hey, you're so motivating." Yes and no. Like I motivate just because um, I like just like everybody else, quick endorphins hits, quick dopamine hits, and it feels good to you know motivate somebody to get started. Um, but it's really, I mean, we all know with discipline that is the true master. Anybody could get motivated to run, you know, 400 yards. But I mean, discipline is what happens when you don't feel motivated. If a lion was chasing you uh, through the Serengeti, I bet you would run a lot faster. But um, friction is sometimes also in the way of that. Um, and it's usually self imposed friction. Once that is removed, that's when consistency is followed. And that's where a lot of people reach out to me. And, sometimes it just takes a third party to be like, dude, do you see something that I don't see? And it's easier, especially, I mean, if you've ever played a collegiate sport and you have like a game day and you watch film on yourself, you could sometimes coach yourself, or even in golf. Like sometimes, if you're good enough, if you have the eye, you could see like, man, I'm just releasing this early. Um, or next one, I laugh because this is almost like this is me in a nutshell. I want peace, and I keep choosing stimulation, and the way that I describe peace is often in the way of clarity. So peace and clarity to me are almost symbiotic, and synonymous. They almost mean the same to me. I could be in a very in a very place in a place of turmoil and know it, and there's peace there, knowing that this is going to be shit. It doesn't really, it releases the uncomfortable decision of knowing it's going to be shit. That's peace to me. I'm always in a search for peace because there's often things in life, and I was shown this a while ago, but you might be able to see this, you might not, but every one of us, if you see this, every one of us holds happiness close. But naturally, it's fleeting. It's always going to, try and get away from you. We try and push sadness away, and naturally, it's going to come to you. Same thing with money. If we try and hold on to money and keep it really close, naturally, you're going to try and get away. If we try and push away things that bring us money, it's going to come back. So there's always a balance, like feminine and masculine energy. We could try and push away feelings and push away decisions, but they're always going to come back, and that's where peace is balance. And really, I'm excited because in a couple weeks I'm bringing one of my best friend, or one of not best friend, but one of my friends, Martha, on here, who is going to talk about uh, like balance, and I think that's what we're all looking for, is like just some sort of homeostasis, um, where we could really send it in every domain of our lives, and there still has to be an equal and opposite recovery for that. But next one, uh, I was eating I was eating clean, but not intentionally. So nutrition without intention becomes a habit without awareness. Food choices to energy, mood, and performance instead of rules can in, inhibit production. So make sure, like when I'm eating and I'm eating clean, I do it with a purpose, right? That's not saying that I need to eat clean all the time. Sometimes I could eat to be emotionally happy. Dog, I love me some fucking ice cream, bro. That's the shit. If I don't eat it, if I limit myself from that, like, it doesn't feel good. I want that in my life. Nobody doesn't like ice cream. All right, next one. I train like an athlete, but I recover like an amateur. God, shit, isn't that the fucking truth? Like, my performance can be classified as elite, right? The output of that is the expenditure that I put out. I mean, it's it's impressive. If I watched my son do it, it would be impressive, and I do watch him do it. And Mooch is probably one of the ones that I watch very closely because he mimics me a lot, especially in almost like my toxic drive to compete. I salivate when I see the look in his fucking eyes anytime he goes to do something. And at the same time, that requires elite recovery. So, however much performance you leave on the table, you have to justify that by doing the same, equal, or even more amount of sleep or some sort of nervous system regulation, right? And a lot of that is being kind to yourself and doing that in the form of, like, again, massages or resting or just reflecting on how good you did. I mean, just something. It's not always the next step and the next podium and the next race and the next mountain and the next ski tournament. It's not that. Mooch, talking to you. I'm also talking to me. You guys know what it's like. I'll do one more before I bounce. And this one is the one that stuck with me the most. And this came to me in December. And it was, I'm chasing a future version of me instead of respecting the current one. The future version without present respect breeds dissatisfaction. So the progress is something that is to be honored and not to rush past. So I have spent a lot of money on personal growth, and I have not done a great job. I've not done a good job of just respecting the gain. I'm looking at the gap. I'm looking at what's next. How can I get better? This is version 13.1 of Jimmy Knapp, and I'm always looking for version 13.2 or 13.3. I'm looking ahead instead of like saying Dude, this is a really good fucking time in my life. But, dude, I'm gonna end it here, and appreciate you guys listening. Find me on Instagram. It's gonna be on YouTube, and yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. We're Primal AF. Let's fucking go.